Hey guys, today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the various um, graded positions that you have at Darby. So if you've been following my channel for a while, you'll know I went back when Darby phase was still squad ops, but now I understand it's platoon ops. So I just want to start off with saying if I am wrong as far as the graded positions in Darby phase, I apologize. Please leave a comment just so that everybody gets up to date info on exactly what has changed. But I'm going to speak as if Darby is the same as it was for me in Mountains and Florida phase. So we'll jump in. For starters, there are 6 graded positions, right? So there's platoon leader, platoon sergeant, and then there's assault 1, assault 2, security squad, and weapons squad leader. So those are the 6 positions you have that get graded looks. Then you have to remember that there's actually 12 looks. So you have 6 that are planning and then 6 that are actions on. So basically what that looks like is at 04 in the morning, new RI comes in while you're doing your graded patrols. New RI comes in. He reads a safety brief for the day. You get your foot checks for the day and you get an MRE. And then he also announces the leadership for the day around that time. So, it'll sound something like he'll say Jones, platoon leader, Mac, platoon sergeant, Robbins, assault 1, Frank, assault 2, Bob, security, and Chuck, weapons. So he'll tell you who's going to be in what positions. And then you just know that if you've got Bob in your squad and he's assault 2, you're now assault 2 squad. So it's a pretty simple concept. And then everybody kind of gets going on the planning, right? And just because you're the PL doesn't mean you're planning the whole op order. At least that's not how my class did it, and I would imagine most other classes are the same, where everybody pretty much plans together, and it doesn't matter who's the PL or who's what. You just do your same thing. For example, I was the routes guy. I was in charge of finding and creating primary and alternate routes with all the checkpoints and stuff like that. So I did that from day 1 in Darby phase all the way through to the end in Florida. So yeah, camera slipping a little here. So the PL is in charge of basically, cliche answers, anything the platoon does or fails to do. But realistically, so we'll just talk planning and then we'll go over actions on later, because all of this switches after actions on. So the planning PL, really his biggest issue is he needs to deliver the order that everybody's helping him write. He's in charge of writing it and delivering it, but for the most part, other people write it. So he's just delivering it. Delivering the order, having a good plan, because really it is the PL's plan. He'll say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is where we're going. This is what I want to do. And then everybody else makes his plan and writes it down in the order format. And then he's in charge of controlling the element on the initial react to contact platoon attack, because that kind of triggers the change over of leadership. Is you're going to get shot at while you're walking in the woods to your objective. You conduct a platoon attack. As soon as it's over, there's an admin time, and then they switch over. So, and then it moves to actions on. All right, so planning platoon sergeant. His role is really the patrol base. For the most part, that's his biggest deal. What the patrol base does, or looks like during the planning portion. Are people sleeping? Is it spread out enough? Has it got a good enough security? And then he's in charge of any casualties you sustain during the actions on portion or the react contact portion. And then, rear security and accountability and stuff like that. That's kind of the platoon sergeant's role. And those are the two biggest positions during planning. As far as the squad leaders, assault 1, assault 2, security and weapons during planning, they don't have a huge role. Just making sure their squads are doing good. The RIs will walk around patrol base and check on people, and if the information hasn't been disseminated, or guys are falling asleep, something like that, it will reflect on the squad leaders. So it is important for the squad leaders. It's not like a guaranteed easy go. They still have to work. So, but then I already alluded to it, right? So you've got the 6 positions. They're doing planning. They deliver the order. Then you sanitize your patrol base and you step off on your mission. An hour and a half, 2 hours into your mission, you will take contact from the OP4 out in the woods. You'll return fire. Platoon leader will conduct a platoon attack to destroy the threat. Once the threat has been destroyed and you have pulled back off the objective, or off the X, I guess, where you were attacked from the OP4, you'll pull back off, and then usually the RI will call, change of mission, index, something to that effect, and then he'll, or say bring it in. You'll do a quick AAR, quick wash, and then he'll change leadership over, and then he'll just read off names again. It'll say Tom, PL, Evan, platoon sergeant, and he'll just go down the list, change all the leadership out, and now your action's on. So that's why it's really important to know, during the planning portion, that everybody gets all of the information, because the only people that sit in on the order are the platoon leader, platoon sergeant, and the squad leaders. So it's pretty important that those squad leaders pass that info off to everybody. Everybody needs to know what the plan is, what's going on, so that they can execute the mission. Because you never know, once change of leadership happens, it could be you under the gun. And if your squad leader failed you and didn't give you the info, you've only got about 2 to 3 minutes to do a quick hot wash with the outgoing platoon leader. So you're trying to get all this info in a really quick time, and you're trying to do gear change outs and stuff like that while it's going on. It's just, there's not much time. So it's important when you're a squad leader that you pass off that info, because it could be somebody else getting the next leadership role, and if they don't know what's going on, it's not going to be a good look for them, right? So change out leadership. Then we move into actions on. Actions on is pretty simple. You run the mission that was planned, whether it be an ambush or a raid, or that's pretty much the only two that you're doing. But so you go run your mission, and then as soon as the mission is over, you take them back into the patrol base. So you walk to the object, you walk to the ORP, you walk to the release point, you conduct the mission, you pull off the objective, get back on the road, and you walk to a patrol base, and then you occupy the patrol base, and then you're up all night, and then 4 o'clock comes around, new leadership. So and there's a big part of it is pinpointing or knowing where you're at on the map. That's a big part of your leadership for everybody. All rated positions get that kind of look. So yeah, that's kind of the key differences, or that's the different graded looks. Now a pretty common question that you'll hear is, well, I'm an NCO, so I'm only going to get NCO roles, right? I'm not going to get the platoon leader role. I'll only speak to like what I saw and what I know. And the answer on that is no, that's not the case. We had like E3s getting the platoon leader look. Now, I will say, I do think for the most part, if you're an officer, they try to give you a platoon leader look. It's not like a hard and fast rule. From what I experienced, that it's like, hey, this guy's an officer, he should get an officer look. Or this guy's an NCO, he should get a platoon sergeant look. You know, there was no like hard and fast rule that just because you're a senior enlisted soldier that you're going to get an NCO or a platoon sergeant look, and just because you're an officer, you're going to get an officer look. I think it's kind of a guideline, like it's preferred. So I'll use my example. I was an E6 when I went through, and I got, I think I got 4 looks because I got 2 looks in Florida, if I remember correctly. The second look was kind of like one of those all-star looks where, you know, you're trying to get everybody a go. Anyhow, and all of mine, so I was a squad leader in Darby, which, you know, I guess is kind of like I was actions on squad leader. And then I was actions on platoon sergeant in Mountains, actions on platoon sergeant in Florida. And then the other look, I was a weapons squad leader. Yeah, I was weapons squad leader. So, so I got the senior NCO looks, and I was, you know, an E6, so I was a more senior NCO going through the course. But that's not a guarantee. Like I said, I saw E3s get platoon leader looks. I saw, you know, E2s get platoon sergeant looks. I saw officers get platoon sergeant looks. So there's like no guarantee. I will say, like, the first bout of looks, the first round of them, they probably do try to match your rank to your graded look. But after that first bout goes through, then I think it's kind of like all hands off. They just start plugging you in where they can, to try to get you a look and get you a go. And then if you're getting to like third looks for guys, it's absolutely got to be just like slam them in a hole and hopefully they get this is a go. I never ever saw anybody get a 4th look in Ranger School. So 3 was the most I ever saw. Maybe we had a big class, or I don't know. I can't speak to that. But 3 looks is all I saw. And by the 3rd look, it didn't matter what rank you were just getting any hole that you could find for a graded look. So, I did want to address that it's not a guarantee that because you're a certain rank that you're most likely going to get that look. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't talk a little bit about the ease in which goes are gotten. I think this is going to vary greatly on you as a person. Why I say that is because, like, I know we had guys going through the course that, boy, all they wanted was a planning look. They felt way more comfortable with the planning looks. That's what they wanted to do. I was kind of terrified to get a planning look. Like, I shouldn't say terrified. If I had to pick between the two, actions on is what I wanted. And thankfully, that's what I got. I got all actions on looks. But I feel like tactically, I'm probably a little more sound in the planning aspect. So that's why I wanted that. So really, it kind of falls on your strengths of what you think would be the best look for you. I can't tell you that one was harder or easier than another from my example. Probably with the exception of security squad, like, that's a pretty easy look. Weapon squad is It's probably one of the harder squad leader looks, you know, just because you're trying to run guns. So you're pretty busy running the guns, establishing a support by fire position and stuff like that. So weapon squad leader is, I would argue, the hardest of the squad leader looks. And then assault 1 and assault 2 are, you know, they're not bad. You're out playing in the woods, playing army, and killing bad guys. So assault 1, assault 2 are pretty fun looks. And then obviously, like your platoon level leadership roles, your PL and platoon sergeant, they're definitely more challenging than your squad leader looks. But that's not to say they're not doable. Yeah, really, the biggest thing that's going to help you get your go in Ranger School is you've got to have security at all times, and you have to have control of your element. If you don't have security and you don't have control of your element, it's a pretty good chance you're not getting a go on that look. So as long as you have those two things, security, control, the rest is probably going to fall in place. So I will do another video on each of the phases and kind of break it down. And I have been asked to do a video on just kind of talking through the day by day. So I will do that at some point, but I know I got a question on the various graded positions, so I wanted to address that. Anyhow, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please drop a comment in there. If there is something that I'm only human, it's Ranger School. You're a little fatigued, so if I messed something up, forgot something, please leave a comment so that I'm not spreading falsehoods out into the world. I want people to have the most up-to-date information that will set them up for success at school. So if I said something wrong or something's changed, please drop a comment. If you want to see any other videos or on any other topics, let me know. Please drop a comment and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Anyhow, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.